Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Vallabha Radha Vallabha Radhe. Jai Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jai Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jayam Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivrajakaacharya Shtotra Sata. His Divine Grace Abhay Charana Aravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Vallabha Ki Jai. Shri Shri Gaur Nitai Ki Jai. Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Mai Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Very nice mridanga, very nice harmonium. It is so important to have the right people accompanying you. Sometimes the first thing I do is when I come to a satsang, I ask for all the kartals and keep it with me. Because everybody starts playing, they all play with their own way, in their own style. They are not practiced on how to play in time, in tune with the singer. Today I forgot, but anyway, it didn't matter. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Svapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padang Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I'm very happy to be here again in the house of Ashok, Priya and Dhanush. Where is Dhanush? Okay, there he is, yes. I remember coming here last year, sitting in the same place. I remember this temple also. Many of you I don't recall from last year. Some new faces, some old faces. In any case, I'm very happy to be here. I believe you have a very nice Bhakti Vriksa program going on. Very nicely. All future Bhakti Vriksa leaders. They're very eager to come for Bhagavad Gita. So all of you are grihasthas or living in household situations. So it is very important to reflect on how important it is to do Krishna consciousness in your situation. Why is it important to do Krishna consciousness in your situation? Because it is important to do it in every situation. There is no situation wherein Krishna consciousness is not important. This is a big misunderstanding and a myth, especially amongst Indians. Outsiders it's not a problem. Especially amongst Indians, that serious spiritual life is only for sannyasis. This one misunderstanding has caused so many difficulties in India. And therefore, people think that living in household life means that you have a complete license or a blanket permit to do anything you like. And therefore, household life becomes a vehicle for materialistic living rather than for pure living. The difference between a materialistic householder and a Krishna conscious householder is very significant. Shrotavyadini Rajendra Nranam Santi Sahasrashah Apashyatam Tattvam Griheshu Grihamedhinam. So Shukadev Goswami, the great saint, speaks to King Parikshit in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and he says that, my dear king, the materialistic people in the world, they have many subjects to hear and talk about. There is no limit. Thousands and thousands of such topics they have. Nirnam Santi Sahasrashaha. Sahasrashaha means thousands. They have no interest in spiritual life, in self-realization. And therefore they are called Grihamedhis. Grihamedhi means one whose intelligence is only absorbed in the Griha or in the samsara. As far as Atma Tattva is concerned, the science of self-realization, of spiritual development, which is the goal of human life, apashyatam, they don't see. Not only do they not see, they don't even see the importance of it. And they don't like to see others seeing the importance of spiritual life. Therefore, one of the most common heartaches of devotees is that their family members or relatives or their friends are opposing them in their Krishna consciousness. Does it happen to some of you? Does it sound very familiar? And typical objections may be, which I'll come to in a few moments, that you should not be doing so much Krishna consciousness. You should also enjoy. In Westerners, it's not like that. You see, in the Western world, there are many problems in their culture and in the many other problems we see here, whether it's Australia or America or UK, Europe, etc. But they at least are free. If somebody does something, they say it's their choice, all right. They become a devotee. So Western devotees don't have opposition from their families. But Indian people are the first to object. That culture which was supposed to actually encourage self-realization, that land which is supposed to be the land of spiritual culture, now is merely the land of software engineers and cricket enthusiasts and politicians and quarrelsome people who like to fight with each other. That spiritual culture, where has it gone? So when somebody takes to spiritual life, sometimes the relatives and others become very disturbed. And they say, why are you doing so much spiritual life? This is not right. In several cases, they told when the grihasthas were making their devotees, their children Krishna conscious, and they were making them follow the rules like don't eat non-veg in the school, when you go to neighbor's house or relative's house, then don't eat non-veg, don't do this, don't eat that. So sometimes those devotee parents, their parents are non-vegetarians or they are not devotees. So when the children go to the grandparents' homes, then there is trouble. Because the grandparents, in the name of affection, they will say, no, we must feed them nicely, they must get a lot of protein. Or they will show them forcefully some television, no, they must know what is going on in the world. So one couple was complaining to me about their parents, both their parents. And they were saying, both our parents have got together, they have made a gang together against us. And now they are saying, you have spoiled your life, you want to spoil your children's life also? And just see, the roles are reversed. It is the parents who are supposed to guide the children that very nice, you're doing Krishna consciousness or spiritual life, very good. But we find the parents are actually discouraging their children from Krishna consciousness and warning them not to further pass it on to their children. What a peculiar and unfortunate and tragic situation in India today. Because Indians have become very materialistic now, very materialistic. They don't want to hear anything about spiritual life. One common thing they will say is, well, you should not do anything too much. So this also should be done in moderation. You should go once in a while to temple, it's okay. But every week you are going, twice, thrice a week you have this satsang, that satsang. This is too much. You are doing too much of all this. Or every day you are having arati in the morning in the house. Or you are being so strict about not eating this, not eating that. So it is the elders who are actually stopping the youngsters from doing it. What a shameful situation. Many times, of course, the elders also follow the path of their children and they also become devotees. Or, for example, sometimes the elders are already devotees and because of them their grown-up children become devotees. All these things are also found amongst the devotees. And that makes us feel very nice. When grown-up children bring up their elderly parents in Krishna consciousness, or elderly parents bring their grown-up children in Krishna consciousness. These are very nice things. But when we see elderly people resisting spiritual life, then that is something very unfortunate. Sometimes, and recently in Australia and wherever I travel, some common complaints, because you see sannyasi, they know I am neutral. And that I will not reveal their confidence to others. So they come and tell. So sometimes some husbands come and complain. Don't worry, not in Melbourne. Or even if it is Melbourne, I won't mention names. Some couples, and the trend is similar. There is some strain, very severe strain in the relationship between husband and wife. Why? Because one of them wants to take to Krishna consciousness seriously and the other doesn't want to take. In some cases, the man is taking to Krishna consciousness very seriously and the wife is very opposed to it. In one case which I came across some weeks ago, she actually began to physically beat him. Yes, I'm very serious. She began to beat him and he had to leave the house and stay somewhere else in the night. She took all the objects, whatever she could find in the house, and she was beating him. And her complaint was, you have made our house into a mutt. This is a mutt or is it a house? Whole day you are just doing this chanting, this reading. You were spoiling our children. I will not let our children be spoiled by you anymore. And I will not do this. So for many years this was going on. And what was her fear? When I asked the husband, what is her fear? He said, she fears I will take sannyas. This is also a very common fear. So I told him that you should introduce him. Don't take me to your house, I told him. You never know what she might do. She may still have some things left that she did not throw at her husband. She may throw at me, who knows. We are abhayam, we are supposed to conquer fear as sannyasis, but such things we are very fearful. You ask us to go into a forest alone, we don't mind, we will go and sit. But to face someone like that, very dangerous, very fearful. So I told him, you introduce them to Grihastha devotees and let them know. Let her know how many Grihasthas are happily practicing Krishna consciousness in this life. And in no way are they inconvenienced or has their material life been spoiled. On the contrary, they are much more happy, they are peaceful, their relationships are so much more better, their children are happier, there is so much more love and affection amongst the family members. So many positive things. And I told him, tell him that in ISKCON, in our society, how many devotees are there? There are lakhs of devotees, hundreds of thousands of devotees. And how many sannyasis are there? Out of few lakhs of devotees, do you know how many sannyasis are there in ISKCON? Only 100. 100 sannyasis in how many lakhs of people? So those of you are all you are IT people, you calculate. What percentage does it come to? And most of these sannyasis are those who were never married. Just in the olden days, in Prabhupada's time, in the early days, sometimes these things happened because of the emergency. Prabhupada allowed them. But mostly, or in some rare cases, it may be somebody whose wife has passed away or who is now very elderly and everybody is settled. Very rare, even those are very rare. But mostly it is those who were never married. So it is not a policy in our movement to encourage young householders to just give up their family and take sannyas. This is just a misconception. This sort of thing will cause so much disturbance in the society. So this is never a policy within our movement. So therefore we have thousands and thousands of families all over the world happily practicing Krishna consciousness with a lot of dedication. And in fact, the contribution in terms of preaching and service and so on that they do is extraordinary. In fact, they often serve more and they preach more than even sannyasis and brahmacharis. In Krishna consciousness, there is no difference between people. Srila Prabhupada used to say that Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi, Brahmachari, what is the difference? These are all external material designations. We take sannyas only for the sake of increasing preaching, that's all. And for strengthening one's sense of renunciation. But apart from that, there is no real difference. Service to Krishna is the main purpose. And then Prabhupada said, preaching is our main business. Grihastha, sannyasi doesn't matter, Prabhupada said. We should all be preaching Krishna consciousness and practicing Krishna consciousness. Then Prabhupada said, what is the difficulty? You meet one person and you tell him, please chant Hare Krishna. Can you not do that? What is the difficulty in that? So Prabhupada was giving a lot of emphasis that even householders should be engaged in very serious Krishna consciousness. Not that householders should be only just casual practitioners of spirituality. It should become a very important, not just a very important, it should become the very purpose of their life. Their material life should revolve around their spiritual life. That is the serious devotee. Not that the spiritual life revolves around the material life. No. The spiritual life is so important that that should be given the main priority, and around that other things can develop. Prabhupada gave the example of Ramananda Rai, who was a very intimate associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a sannyasi. And then he traveled from Jagannath Puri and went on pilgrimage to many holy places in South India and also some in Western India. And as he moved from Jagannath Puri down towards the south, he came to the banks of the Godavari, where there was Ramananda Rai, who was the governor of that province. He was a very aristocratic, wealthy gentleman with a very high position in the society. Being a governor of a province was not an ordinary thing. But he was also a very advanced devotee of Lord Krishna. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya had already told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that please give your mercy to Ramananda Rai when you go there. He is a very advanced soul. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met with him. And even though Ramananda Rai was a householder and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a sannyasi, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Ramananda Rai many questions, spiritual questions. He started off by asking, what is the goal of life? Please tell me. He was speaking as if he did not know himself. Of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knew very well. He is directly Krishna. Plus, he was a very scholarly sannyasi, so he knew all these things. But he wanted to teach the world through personalities like Ramananda Rai that even householders are expected to be very knowledgeable in spiritual matters. And if somebody is very Krishna conscious and knowledgeable, we can hear from these devotees. There is no problem. So he asked many questions, and Ramananda Rai started speaking and giving beautiful answers based on the scriptures, which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu approved very much. And Ramananda Rai was saying in all humility that actually, my Lord, I'm like a madman. I do not know what I am speaking. Whatever you are making me speak, I am speaking. You are asking me questions and you are only giving the replies through me. I am like a stringed instrument and you are the musician who is playing on the strings of this instrument to make it sing. So whatever I am saying is actually your credit. You are actually speaking through me. In this way, Ramananda Rai was very humble, and actually what he was speaking was the truth, because devotees, when they surrender to Krishna, they become empowered by Krishna to do wonderful services. So Srila Prabhupada used to say that these books, these purports, are actually written by Krishna, not in the sense that he is Krishna, but in the sense that Krishna from within actually empowered him in such a way that Krishna, you can understand that Krishna was speaking. So Prabhupada said, I myself read my own books and I relish them and I enjoy them. Why? Because these are Krishna's words. So anyone who surrenders to Krishna with his or her heart and soul and becomes a very sincere devotee of Krishna, Krishna will empower that devotee to do many, many kinds of wonderful things for his service. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had empowered Ramananda Rai like this. So a wonderful conversation took place, which is a historic conversation. And followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they hold this conversation in very high regard, because this conversation contains the highest philosophical and theological truths about God and about Krishna consciousness. Before he reached, he had also met actually another devotee. When Mahaprabhu had left Jagannath Puri and he was walking down towards the south, he came to a place called Kurmakshetra. Kurmakshetra is a place where there is a deity of Kurmadev, one of the incarnations of the Lord, and nice temple. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared there, and he was chanting and dancing in great ecstasy, doing his Sankirtan movement. Now, how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was propagating and preaching his movement, and how he was employing grihasthas as instruments is very interesting. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to go from one place to the other, he was walking. Actually, sometimes when he was in his ecstasy, he was jumping and dancing and walking. He did not notice any tiredness, any fatigue. He was just going on and on and on. And he was chanting the holy names, singing the Lord's names. And whoever saw him would immediately become a pure devotee by hearing the sounds of Krishna's names from his mouth. By just looking at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, their hearts would be transformed. They would also instantly become devotees. Not just ordinary devotees, they would become pure devotees. They would also start chanting the names of Krishna as if there was some, contagious things. Sometimes in disease, you touch another person, gets the disease. So this was in a positive sense. So Krishna consciousness is also positively contagious. So the person who saw, anyone who saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he would also become imbued with that ecstatic feeling of devotion to Lord Krishna. Then he would go back to his village. And when people in that village saw this man coming back, just by looking at him and hearing Krishna's name from him, they would all become also pure devotees. And then those people would go to other villages and they would make those people devotees. This is how Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami describes how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spread Krishna consciousness. In this way, village after village, people became Krishna conscious. So how many sannyasis were there in those villages? Practically none. All were grihasthas. They were empowered by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They became pure devotees and they would go everywhere. In this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu employed and engaged so many grihasthas in the propagation of Krishna consciousness. So as he was walking, he came to this Kurma Kshetra. As I mentioned, it's a holy place of Lord Kurmadev. And as he was chanting and dancing in ecstasy, of course, many people became devotees. And there was one particular Brahman whose name was also Kurma. So he was Kurma Vipra. He became particularly fond of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he invited Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to come to his house. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came home, then he welcomed him and then he washed his feet, and he and his family members actually sprinkled that water on their heads and drank it. Then they offered Chaitanya Mahaprabhu prasadam, and they had the remnants of Mahaprabhu's prasadam, and they served Mahaprabhu and pleased him in many ways. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu moved. He stayed for some time there. Then it was time for him to leave Kurma Kshetra and go further in his pilgrimage. At that time, this Kurma Brahman approached Mahaprabhu in a solitary place. And he said, I have a humble submission at your lotus feet. If you would be kind enough to hear me out and to bless me by fulfilling my desire. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, what is your desire? He said, I cannot anymore take this fire of material existence. This family life has so many troubles. Correct, right? Yes? Not very enthusiastically you are replying. You agree with this? Yes. So he said, family life has so many troubles, I don't know. It is so hard for me to do anything here. So I want to come with you. And I will join you and I will serve you. And wherever you travel, I will come along with you and be your servant and your assistant. So I don't want any more of this worldly life, of this family life. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him that no, do not try to prematurely do things like this. You must stay at home. You must not artificially try to renounce like this and leave your family and go away. You stay here and chant Krishna's holy names. And then he gave him a very important instruction, which Srila Prabhupada used to repeat also many times. Who knows that verse? Very important verse, which everybody must remember, at least after today. Yes? Which one? Please speak loudly. Very nice. The verse is Jare dakho tare kaho Krishna upadesh Amar agyaye guru hona tara ei desh. It's a Bengali verse. But what does it mean? Jare dakho, whoever you see, tare kaho, you tell him. Krishna Upadesh. This you understand. You should give him the message of Krishna. Tell him to chant the holy name of Krishna. So whoever you meet, tell that person about Krishna consciousness. Jare dekho tare kaho Krishna Upadesh. Amar Agyai Guru Hona Taro Eidesh. On my order, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him, you become Guru and deliver this whole land. Now, Guru doesn't mean one who's sitting on big asan and many garlands and all people coming and doing Dandavat Pranam to him. No, Guru means anyone who speaks about Krishna to anybody else is like a Guru. Even a child can be a Guru, in the sense that when he or she speaks Krishna consciousness, they can be Guru. Sometimes children can be like the Guru of the parents in the sense that they tell them about Krishna. Sometimes the children can be more advanced than the parents in Krishna consciousness. You all know the story of Mukunda and Raghunandan, yes? Raghunandan was the son, and Mukunda was a doctor. And one day Mukunda was called for some emergency, some patient called, and he had to rush. He was about to offer to the deities the bhoga, the offering, naivedyam he was about to make. Because it was a very devoted family. He was a very pure devotee, Mukunda. He placed the bhoga, the naivedyam on the altar, and he said, look, Raghunandan, who was only a small boy. And he told Raghunandan, I have to urgently go out for some work, but you offer this naivedyam to Krishna. Or rather, he just simply told him, because Raghunandan was too small to understand words like naivedya and all that. So he said, you just make Krishna eat. Simple language he told him so that little boy would be able to understand. So this boy didn't know anything, mantras and all that. You're supposed to place the plate, there are so many rules. Then you have to offer obeisance, you have to ring the bell, you have to chant some mantras. Now this little boy didn't know any mantras or anything. When father left, all he knew is, father has told me to make Krishna eat. So he put the plate in front of Krishna and said, Krishna, eat. So Krishna did not eat. Actually Krishna ate, but not in the way that the child expected he will eat. You see, when we place a plate of bhoga or naivedyam in front of Krishna and we offer it to him with devotion, then Krishna accepts it with his eyes. Because Krishna is the absolute transcendental person. He has a spiritual body. So any one of his senses, according to Lord Brahma, can perform the functions of any other sense. So he can hear with his mouth. He can speak with his ears. He can do anything he likes. So similarly, he can also eat with his eyes. How we wish we could also do that. Yes? We can only eat with our mouth, we can only see with our eyes, we can only hear with our ears. But Krishna's divine body can do anything with any part of his body. So Krishna very kindly accepts that bhoga with his eyes, and after having accepted it and eaten it, he still leaves it behind on the plate. Otherwise, what will we eat after that? So what is left behind on the plate is called prasadam. Prasadam means mercy. That is a mercy of Lord Krishna. So when we partake of prasadam, we are actually taking Krishna's mercy. So this little boy didn't know all this philosophy. He had never seen how his father is. He just knew father is ringing a bell, chanting some mantras. So when he saw that the plate is still the same, plate is not getting empty, because normally when you feed a human being, then the plate will be empty after he finishes eating. But here the plate was full. So this boy started getting a little nervous. He said, Krishna, father asked me to feed you, but you are not eating. So when he comes back, he will scold me. So you eat. So again he kept the plate in front of Krishna, the deity. And this time also the plate remained full. Then the boy started crying. He said, Krishna, you please eat now. Then finally Krishna leaned forward. Krishna means who? The deity. The deity leaned forward and started eating. Nicely ate the whole plate. Plate was empty. Then the boy was satisfied. Now I have followed my father's instructions. I made Krishna eat. Then father came back after some time. Now he was hungry. Okay, Raghunandan, please give me the Mahaprasadam. So Raghunandan said, Krishna ate it. Yes, that is why I am saying it is Mahaprasadam. Give me what he has eaten. But there is nothing left. He has eaten everything. So then he became a little suspicious. This boy is playing some mischief. He must have eaten everything and now he is saying Krishna has eaten everything. But he still had a doubt. I think he may not be lying also. So then he said, let me test him out. So he gave him a laddu and said, okay, you make Krishna eat this. And then Mukunda went and hid behind a curtain. And then this boy went up and offered this laddu to Krishna. And Krishna leaned forward and took that laddu and ate half of it. Just then Mukunda was watching and he came out from behind the curtain and then the deity saw him. Immediately he stopped. So only half the laddu was eaten. The other half was still there in the plate. And then Mukunda embraced Raghunandan. And he was in complete ecstasy, in bliss. And the word spread like anything in the whole devotee community. And word reached the ears of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, who was in Jagannath Puri. And this incident happened in Bengal, quite far away from there. So the next time Mukunda and Raghunandan went to Jagannath Puri, they met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him, so Mukunda, are you the father and is Raghunandan the son? Or is Raghunandan the father and you are the son? So Mukunda replied, actually my lord, Raghunandan is the father and I am the son. Because he is showing me what is devotional service. His devotion is unparalleled. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was also very pleased. One time when I was in a temple, a similar thing happened when I was talking to one gentleman who was a bank officer. And then he said, I asked him, what is your name? He said, my name is Mukunda. And just a few hours before in the temple, I had given a lecture and narrated the same story in the lecture. Oh, I said, your name is Mukunda. So I spoke about one devotee called Mukunda and he had a son called Raghunandan. My son's name is also Raghunandan. Such a wonderful coincidence. So I said, now you must both become pure devotees. See, Krishna has sent you on this day when this story has just been spoken. So in this way we see that even children can actually preach. So Raghunandan did such powerful preaching as a small child. There was one little girl who was the daughter of one of Prabhupada's disciples. She was only 5 or 6 years old. And she would go around amongst the people who were sitting there for a satsang. And she would tap the people on the shoulder and say, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Prabhupada says, she is Guru. So anyone can be Guru. This is the understanding of Guru. Not that a Guru means one has to sit on big platform and have big title, 108 Mahamandaleshwar, something like that. Not necessary. We can give shiksha, we can give upadesh to anybody. There is another story that comes to mind about how even a child can become a Guru. You know the story of Gopal, yes? You remember the story of Gopal? I had told it here one time, I think. Who remembers that story? Yes, you can tell the story. Briefly. No? Who will tell? Somebody tell. You have to be guru, no? Everybody. Who will tell? You will tell? Yes. Very briefly you can tell.
I'm not sure about the names actually. It's
Okay, just say like that.
Gopal's guru is speaking about scriptures and all other things, and he's teaching well about all those things. And Gopal heard about that Krishna is a boy and he will play with everyone and all these things. So he heard about that and he went into the forest.
Oh, not that. Not that.
Gopal, 5 years old.
Gopal Guru.
One time Mahaprabhu was stopping chanting while he was
Not Mahaprabhu. Some other person. Other person, yes.
chanting while he was doing something.
Something means...
Nature's call.
Yes. Hmm.
And then that Gopal asked him, what if you die in that place, if you die in that situation? So, and then Mahaprabhu said, he is the real Guru, he is telling that you have to chant every time. Wherever you are, everywhere.
Yes, very nice. You have got the essence of it. So there was this one devotee who was actually constantly chanting Krishna's names. It would come naturally and spontaneously from his mouth. All the time his tongue would vibrate, Krishna, 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 it would go on. He could not stop it. So one time he was going to the toilet and he was holding his tongue like this. So Gopal was only a 5-year-old boy. So he saw this devotee going like that. So he said, why are you holding your tongue like this? He said, because I'm going to the toilet. But if you're going to the toilet, what is the need for holding your tongue? So he said, because see, I'm always chanting Krishna's names. And the toilet is a dirty place. We go to do a dirty thing. So when we go to a pure place, why I should not chant Krishna's pure names over there? So therefore I'm stopping myself from chanting. My tongue is forcefully chanting. So then Gopal said, but that is not right. Suppose you die in the toilet. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that you must chant my names and you must remember me at the time of death. Then you will not be able to think of Krishna at the time of death. So we must chant Krishna's name in all circumstances, in all places, at all times. And the holy name of Krishna is so pure, it does not get contaminated in any place. So there is no hard and fast rule or no restriction about where we can chant Krishna's names. So this devotee was very happy to hear this. Immediately he removed his finger and happily continued to chant Krishna's names. This news reached Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's ears. And then Mahaprabhu became very happy. He called the boy to him and said, okay, from today your name will be Gopal Guru, because you have given very good instruction to all of us on how important it is to chant Krishna's names. And later on this boy became a sannyasi. He was known as Gopal Guru Goswami. So in other words, even children can become guru. So guru means one who tells someone else about Krishna in a very broad sense. Of course there is Shiksha Guru, Vartama Pradarshaka Guru, Diksha Guru, so many types of gurus are there. But here the word guru is understood in a very general and broad sense. So we must become gurus in the sense that we must also speak about Krishna to others. Jare dekho tare kaho, which means whoever you meet, talk to that person about Krishna. So in this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu engaged so many householders in practicing Krishna consciousness and in spreading Krishna consciousness also. Srila Prabhupada also did the same. When he went to the Western countries, he saw that most of the youth who are there, they are living such lives that it is better they all get married and live together and preach and practice Krishna consciousness. So there were many, many young couples and they surrendered their lives to Srila Prabhupada. And some of them, most of them actually, were all very young. and even very new in Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada used to send them to different parts of the world. You go and start a temple there. He sent 3 couples from San Francisco to London. You go to London and start a temple there. They were just devotees for 3 years, 4 years. How many of you are devotees for 3 years? 3 years, yes. So imagine if you were told, after you go and start temple in some distant land. You say, well, I'm only 3 years old devotee. Okay. You go, don't worry, my empowerment is there. So husband, wife together they went. They started. And wonderful things happened in London after that. And now also we see that in the community of devotees within ISKCON, 95 or 98% of the devotees are all householders. Only 2% maybe sannyasis and brahmacharis and so on. Otherwise, mostly all are householders. And all are doing wonderful service for the movement. They are rendering nice sevas within the temples. They are also spreading Krishna consciousness, assisting in preaching to other people, organizing programs and doing many, many things like this. So therefore, whether we are grihasthas or brahmacharis or sannyasis or anything, our goal of life is the same. That is to become Krishna conscious, to become pure devotees and to help others also become pure devotees of Krishna. And especially, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has ordered, Bharat bhumita janma hoila jar, janma sarthak kari kara para upakar. Especially for those who have been born in the land of, holy land of India, Bharatvarsha, it is their prime duty that they must make their own lives Krishna conscious, and they must also help others make their lives successful by taking to Krishna consciousness. So therefore I'm very happy to see so many preaching programs going on here, so many Bhakti Vriksa groups expanding. I think you have a North Bhakti Vriksa here going on, isn't it? Jagannath Ram Prabhu and Jamuna Devidasi, yes? You are doing here? 2 of you are handling one. Any other Bhakti Vriksha groups here? One group, isn't it? You're also doing one? Which part? In west part. Very nice. So we are going there tomorrow, I think. Saturday. So let there be more and more Bhakti Vriksha groups, more and more groups of devotees coming up. Let the Krishna consciousness spread everywhere. Why should we be miserly about spreading happiness? Why should we want to keep happiness only to ourselves? Shouldn't we want to spread happiness to everybody else? So therefore, as grihasthas also, it is very important. We should take Krishna consciousness very seriously, and we should also participate very seriously in different services and the preaching program. At the same time, I must add as a parting word of caution, we should also do our household responsibilities very nicely. Not that we should just go for preaching and then neglect the home, neglect the children. That should not happen. We must do our responsibilities at home very, very nicely in a Krishna conscious spirit, so that the home will also become Golok Vrindavan. As Bhaktivinoda Thakur has said, Jedina grihete bhajana dekhi grihete goloka bhai. Whenever I come home and see my family members chanting the holy names, then I actually see Goloka Vrindavan in my house. So every house should become Golok Vrindavan. A place where Lord Krishna is in the center, where all the family members get together to hear and chant about Krishna every day. You may have your Bhakti Vriksha and other temple programs going on at certain times of the week. But on the times that you do not have such a program, in the evenings all the family members should gather together in the house, like here you have a temple, and you should sit and chant the holy names for some time. Even if there are 2 or 3 family members, you should sit down together and chant. And then you should have little discussion from Srila Prabhupada's books, Bhagavad Gita as it is, or Srimad Bhagavatam, etc. If you can do it in the morning also, together, that is excellent. But sometimes morning is difficult because many people have to go to work. So at least in the evening, family should get together, the members should come together and hear and chant about Krishna. Hare Krishna. So thank you very much for coming here this evening on a working day. I'm sure you're all very, very tired after a long day's work, but still you have come. And thank you Ashok, Priya and Dhanush for your hospitality, for facilitating us today. Doesn't look like some questions, looks like many questions, which is nice. Okay, so we'll take some questions. I think they were there from before I came also. Yes, now all these delicate questions will come up, but they're very important questions. What is the most important duty of Grihastha wife and husband who have children? To be Krishna conscious and to make their children Krishna conscious. To look after body, mind and soul of all the family members. So if I were to put it in one line, what is the duty of husband and wife who have children? To take care of body and mind and soul of all the family members, including yourself. Body means you have to make sure they get proper clothing, proper food, proper shelter. Mind means you have to see that they get proper understanding, knowledge, simple knowledge to live in this world. Mind also means that they get proper affection, proper relationships so that the mind is happy and peaceful. And soul means that you should do Krishna consciousness very nicely. So to take care of body, mind and soul in the proper way. How can a working mother give spiritual priority to children's activities? What Krishna conscious activity must be given priority? Now you have raised a big topic. Which is the big topic in this question?
Which Krishna conscious activity?
Sensitive point. Working mothers. It's a difficult issue. Why so? Because if economically there are sometimes difficulties, and if the family is not able to maintain the expenses and all the future mortgage and everything else on one person's salary, then sometimes the wife also goes to work. So well, if that's the case, so be it, but generally it is always better for the sake of the family, for the sake of the children, for the sake of Krishna consciousness, that one person being in the outside world is sufficient. At least another one person should remain sane in the house. One person goes out, has to deal with the whole outside world, come back with all sorts of disturbed mind. At least one person in the house should be a little bit sober. So when people ask me this question, I usually answer in this way, that unless it is really something that is economically very crucial or critical, it is better that the ladies do not work in a job for many reasons. One of the most important reasons being that the children get neglected. And the children, then your care of your children is outsourced. You know what is outsourcing? All of you are in IT. Outsourcing means that you give the care of your children to other people. You send them to daycare center. And in the daycare center, who are the people who are going to look after them? They're not going to give them Krishna consciousness. So if you are able to manage your finances in a reasonable way by living a reasonably simple life so that your requirements are not very large, and if you have no financial crisis as such, then it is better that the lady of the house stays in the house, looks after the children, gives them the kind of care that is very much required, which only a mother can do for the child. It is very hard for other people to do. The mother's role is very, very crucial. And all the ladies today who are working are happily doing so because they have been brought up to a level where their mothers were not working. Their mothers sacrificed everything for the children. Isn't it a fact? If amongst you there are any working ladies, you think, I'm sure that most of your mothers were not working. Probably. Some may have been. But by and large it was not so. So the mother would get sufficient time, sufficient energy to actually look after the children and give them the affection they needed, give them the care they needed, body, mind, soul. In this day and age when the outside influences are so bad and so strong and so many distractions are there, to bring up children is not an easy job. They need more attention. So on the contrary, if we are going to reduce the attention by going out to work in a job, then these things create so many problems for the children later on. The children feel neglected. And they actually start saying it. This is a common problem everywhere. Then it is like a weekend thing. The weekend when the children are with the parents. They go early in the morning, the parents come back in the evenings, only just a short time with the children. It is not the way a stable, happy society can be run. You see the way the world is going now. It is a mistake to think that if we repeat the same thing, we will get a different result. If we repeat things that are going on in the Western world, we are also going to go in the same direction. Our families will also crumble, like it is happening in the Western world. Families are crumbling. The divorce rates are climbing. Children are becoming increasingly brought up in broken homes, single parenting, so many problems going on. So anyway, it's a big topic, but I think that unless it is really necessary, it is a better principle to follow a more traditional way of life and have one person staying at home, the wife staying at home, doing the proper looking after the house, looking after the children. But because today ladies are also educated, so the ladies, because of the whole social situation around them and because of the propaganda of the world, they feel that they will be criticized. They feel that they will be looked down upon by the world. Oh, you are not going in a job, you are just a housewife. So they feel that it is against their self-esteem to not work in a job. But actually, we need not look so much at what the world will say. We have to see our children. We have to see our family first, then the outside world. When our children have problems, the world will not come to help us. The world will not be able to rectify our children if they have problems when they grow up. So it is our responsibility. We need not worry about them, what the world says. It is because we do not realize how valuable it is for us to look after our children nicely and keep the family as a happy, stable social unit that we think that working in a job outside is more valuable than looking after the family. Are you understanding this point? Because people think that working in a job is more valuable than looking after a family. They think that looking after a family is something that is very ordinary thing or not so important thing. Anyone can do it. But I am educated, so I can go and earn money. I am capable. So this is the unfortunate present-day situation. Therefore, you just see the situation in the modern-day world, even in India. How many broken families are coming together? And then when both are working, sometimes there is ego also. There is ego clashes. I am also earning, you are also earning. So many problems happen. So anyway, these are some general points. If you try to make your life simple, then I think your financial needs will also come down. Or do some adjustments like that. I know this is not a very popular thing to say nowadays, but the truth must be spoken for the sake of the sanity of the world. Anyone with some perception of the world will understand that these are the causes of the world's problems. Okay, see, the next question is like that. Oh, no, it's another thing. What is your advice to a wife who wants to progress in Krishna consciousness more than her husband? Somebody wants me in trouble. I will get in trouble before I leave. But no, these are very important points. There is no problem. If the wife wants to progress in Krishna consciousness, that's a very good thing. And if the husband is not so eager to progress in Krishna consciousness, you act intelligently in such a way that he will also be inspired to move ahead in Krishna consciousness. Deal with the situation so intelligently and so nicely without compromising your Krishna consciousness, at the same time encourage him in Krishna consciousness. So devotee has to be very intelligent. There is no point fighting with the husband saying, you should also be a devotee. Then he will go further away from Krishna consciousness. Next question, how can she help her husband to desire more Krishna conscious activities in Grihastha life? Answer is by setting a good example and by acting and dealing in such a way that he will feel happy and inspired to do it. Next question, is it true that through chanting millions of sins and the reactions are destroyed? Yes, indeed. But that is not the goal of chanting. The goal of chanting is not to destroy sins. Destruction of sins comes automatically by even the glimpse of chanting. Just a glimmer, shadow of chanting can destroy sins. The real purpose of chanting the holy name is to develop love for Lord Krishna, Krishna Prem. Next question, my daughter likes to watch a lot of television shows which involve meat cooking and eating. What should I do? I will be a very unpopular man by the time I leave from here. Simple solution, don't keep a TV in the house. Simple solution. And it is also the duty of Grihasthas to come together and have such nice facilities for children so that they will have nice friendship, nice programs for children. All Grihasthas should seriously come together to see what can be done about this. Okay, next question. I have to convince a person who says Lord Shiva is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What is the scriptural evidence that I can show and tell him to refer to a shloka or a chapter or a Veda which tells Lord Shiva is the topmost devotee of Lord Krishna? So many things. It's a big topic, but you can quote from the Srimad Bhagavatam. You can go to Bhagavad Gita verses to tell how Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and you can go to Srimad Bhagavatam to know what is the position of Lord Shiva. And to quote the verse, I will just quote one verse that indicates that Lord Shiva is the Supreme, is the great devotee of Krishna. And that is in the 12th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Nimna ganam yatha ganga, devanam achyuto yatha, Vaishnavanam yatha shambhu, Purananam idam tatha. In the Bhagavatam, there is a description of how the Bhagavatam itself is the best among all the Puranas. Just as among all the rivers, Ganga is the greatest. Among all the divinities, Krishna or Achyuta is the greatest. And among all the Vaishnavas, Shambhu or Lord Shiva is the greatest. So here we understand Lord Shiva to be a very great Vaishnava. And as you read Srila Prabhupada's books, you will get more and more information about this. Next question. If you have been doing some service and it is taken away from you by a peer, how should we react to this? Should we discuss it with the peer, or should we just accept it as Krishna's will, thinking we are only to blame for this and not to do anything about it? Well, why not? You can generate more service, so both of you can do service. Why should it be either or? It can be and also. The other devotee can do the service, you can also do the service. You can have more and more service for Krishna. That's the best solution. Win-win solution. Next question. How do we stay determined to follow the principles of Krishna consciousness, especially avoiding outside food, chocolates, etc.? You can avoid outside food, chocolates, etc. best by avoiding outside food and chocolates. There is a good neck exercise I will show you. That is very helpful for this. It is also helpful to reduce weight. But please note this, now all of you will do. It will help you in answering that question also. Okay, now all of you ready to do this exercise? Please sit erect. Okay. Now sit erect, move your head to the right side, slowly. Then now to the center, now to the left. And again back. Now do it again and again 3-4 times. Yes. So when the chocolate or outside food comes in front of you, you should do this exercise. Then you will be able to answer your problem will be solved. You can also reduce weight like that by this neck exercise. Next question. My mind is full of thoughts, good and bad. What are the consequences of these thoughts? The consequences are that usually what is in your mind, it will be brought to your lips or to your actions. So if the thoughts are good, then you will bring those thoughts into words and into actions. Similarly with bad thoughts. So you should drown out the bad thoughts with good thoughts, good words, good actions. And the word good means Krishna conscious. How to concentrate on Lord Krishna? Chanting is not purifying me still. I am chanting since the last 2 years, but still I am a neophyte only. I don't know what is my future. Well, we all remain neophytes even after being 40 years in the movement. Yes, the holy name is purifying, don't worry about it. Just keep chanting, don't stop chanting. Alongside, to help you chant the holy name better, you do a lot of other services, which will give you the piety, the devotional piety, to be able to chant the holy name better. Serve the Vaishnavas better, in a very humble spirit. Participate in so many other preaching activities and services. Hear Krishna Katha regularly, the lectures and so on. And be determined to chant your rounds. Then definitely your taste for chanting will improve. Okay, you might have answered this question many times. How to get over inattentive chanting and do attentive chanting? Or how to get over inattentive chanting and to do attentive chanting? Please enlighten. You see, I had mentioned I think we had a retreat, this is Melbourne devotees, some of you had come. For chanting, I was mentioning that there are 3 things that you have to keep in mind, which can be very helpful for the japa. One is, you pronounce the words of the Mahamantra very nicely, very clearly. Second, you hear what you chant very attentively, carefully. And third, you chant very feelingly. These 3 things if you do, your chanting will be very nice. What are the 3 things? Number 1, pronounce what clearly? The whole mantra, every word. Second, hear how? Carefully, attentively. Third, chant feelingly. If you do these 3 things, then the chanting will definitely improve. Next question. When Mahaprabhu came to earth, he was looking Krishna consciousness everywhere. Mahaprabhu himself is Krishna, looking Krishna everywhere. He was seeing Krishna everywhere. So Mahaprabhu himself Krishna, then is he looking at his own image? It is very difficult for me to understand this aspect. Yes, Mahaprabhu is Krishna, and when he came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he would see Krishna, he would see himself as Shyamasundar, as Govinda, as Krishna in Vrindavan. How is that? Because even though Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none other than Lord Krishna, but he has come here with the complexion and with the mood of Srimati Radharani, who is the best devotee of Krishna. So because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had accepted the mood of the topmost devotee of Krishna, so in that mood he was seeing Krishna everywhere. Okay, next question. When parents are ignorant, offensive, it affects our practicing of Krishna consciousness. How to act appropriately in Krishna conscious way? You mentioned in the lecture, child is the father of man. Can you please explain more how a child can act as father of man, parents? You see, parents are parents. So many times, you will have to be very, very gentle and sensitive in dealing with parents. After all, they have brought us up. So we should not deal with them in a harsh way, even if they are opposed to Krishna consciousness. But you should deal with them in such a sensitive way that they will feel inspired and happy to take to Krishna consciousness, or at least they will not interfere with your Krishna consciousness. So that is very important. So deal with them nicely and they will slowly understand and become devotees. Next question. As living entities, we are the marginal energy of the Lord and unfortunately fall into this material world. Even after doing all sadhana and going back to spiritual world, are we vulnerable to falling down again? What is the answer? No. Why not? Why not?
Krishna assures in the Bhagavad Gita.
Yes. What is Krishna's assurance? Masucha, yes. But specifically that we will not come back? What is that verse, or that one line of the verse? Yad gatvana nivartante tad dhama paramam mama. Whoever comes to my abode will not have to return again to this material world. So Krishna has given us a promise. So therefore we don't have to worry. Once we go to Krishna Loka, we will not come back even to Melbourne. Kindly advise how to maintain the family with good spiritual life, where wife is following Sri Sampradaya and husband is following ISKCON. This creates some conflict. Need your suggestion, as we need a smooth family. So it should be handled in a very sensitive way. Maybe it needs a separate discussion, private discussion. After keeping all the pots and pans and other weapons apart, then discussion can take place in a very peaceful environment. Just go on with your Krishna consciousness and let Krishna take charge of the situation. Don't worry. Be thankful that at least they are following Krishna consciousness. They are devotees of Krishna, rather than that other lady who did some other interesting things. Okay, so thank you very much. There's many questions today. Hare Krishna. It's always good to begin and end with the holy name. In the middle also there should be holy name. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Vallabha Radha Vallabha Radhe. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.